Honey, if he can play in the playground, he has to be ready. All right, y'all. Listen, are we recording? Oh, wow. I'm happy we didn't say nothing we wasn't supposed to say. All right, y'all. Listen, welcome to another episode of Toya Moment. And today, you already know I have a special guest in the building with me, my girlfriend, Khadijah. Hey, Khadijah.
Hello.
All right, so listen. I know you watched a lot of Toya Moments episodes, right? All right, so, I like to give my guests their flowers because I only have people on my show that are important to me and they have some Toya Moments with me. So I have to give you your flowers before we start. Okay, you ready? All right, Khadijah, I really want to say from the first day I met you, you have always been like just an amazing soul. Like you're kind-hearted, you're sweet, you're calm, you're helpful, you're supportive. You are an amazing mom. Like, I remember we went out to Landmark and you was just like into like girlfriend chat, mom. And you just was handling that so well. And I was looking like, oh, I can't wait till I join her. And you have a son. And I want to join the boy club because I want a son. So I do.
Boy mom.
Yeah, I want to be a boy mom. Yes, I'm going to be a boy mom. Hopefully. But I do want to say just overall, you just a real good friend, a real good person. I know you and your sister have an amazing relationship, so that makes you a great sister. And I just like how you show up in the world and you show up in any room. Even down to today, you asked me like, Toya, you need me to come a little earlier, help with setup? And I just thought that was so dope because I'm like, she don't even realize I just wanted to be a guest. But you're always willing to just jump in and help. So I really want to just say thank you for all you do. Thank you for being an amazing friend to me. Thank you for just being the person that you are. And you also an amazing businesswoman. So really quick, let's plug your business. Really quick, go plug your business.
Thank you, Toya.
Of course.
I own Jumel Events. It's a event planning company. I do weddings, birthdays, any special celebrations. I'm here. I do from the beginning of planning all the way to the end. I'm your girl. I'm finding you the venue, the vendors, the food, whatever you need, I got you. I find so much joy in helping people and just being like a part of someone's success. So if that's an event, then I got you. Jumel Events.
And really quick, before we jump in and dive into our episode today, I will do a client review because you also helped with my 30th birthday party. Whereas though everyone knows when you have an event, the day of the event can be hectic and it be like really stressful and it can take you out of being able to enjoy the event because you worrying about everything going right or making sure everything is there. I didn't have to do none of that because you took care of all of that. So I thank you. And you came on board last minute. I was like, friend, I need some help. I need your help. And you came in and saved the day. So I appreciate you. So this is a client review. Listen, book with my girl. If you have an event coming up, book with my girl. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get beautiful. You're going to get kind. You're going to get all this, okay?
Thank you for trusting me.
Oh, girl, yes, I don't listen. From that day on, now I know my wedding come. You already know who I'm calling.
Period.
All right, so today's episode is really special to me. I was thinking about, when thinking about just where I wanted to go next with Toya Moment, right? I was thinking about where I am currently in life and thinking about the woman that I am right now. And I was like, I've been through some things. I know on the other episode we talked about some of the things that I may have been through. But I also said I have a friend who is living this entire life of like, as a perfect example of like, just not allowing one episode of her life to stop her, but to press pause and take a deep breath, then press play and to restart. So today I wanted to talk about just like starting over. You know what I mean? And I wanted to have you as my guest on my show because I've been your friend. So I'm kind of had the privy to having like the preview of certain things that you have going on that most people probably didn't. And I can kind of see like at one point it was kind of almost getting to you, but then you came right out of it real quick. So I wanted to like just share that, So are we good?
We good.
Okay.
Open book.
All right. So Khadijah, I really want to dive into talking about like your marriage. You were like you and another friend, you were like the only friend I knew that was married. Mm-hmm. And can I say your wedding was beautiful? Thank you. Your wedding was beautiful, honey. You looked beautiful. You slayed the girls, honey. You slayed the girls. So let's talk about that a little bit. Like, you were young when you got married. How old were you?
Yeah, I was pretty young when I got married. Was I 24? I was 24 when I got married.
Mm-hmm. And let's get into the mic a little bit.
Okay.
So make sure they get this story.
Awesome. Hope y'all hear me.
Keep going.
So 24, I was the first in my group of friends to get married.
Yeah.
And
So
I was the first in my group of friends to get married at the age of 24, and it was new, not just to me, but like to my whole crew. Like it was like, oh, you're doing this? Like, you're really doing this? And, you know, my husband at the time was a bit older than me. He was a little bit more seasoned. A little bit more seasoned. But, yeah, I started young, and I credit that time in my life to learning so many lessons and knowing what I would do differently at my age now.
So let me ask you this, because you know the girls, and I say the girls, I'm talking about myself, honey. We trying to, you know, get through those doors of marriage. How did you know that you're at that? How did you know you were ready for marriage at that time?
So here's the thing, right? What they say, your frontal lobe don't fully like develop until a certain. I don't know if my frontal lobe was fully developed at that time, but I thought I was okay. I'm African. I'm West African. So there's a part in our tradition where it's not very common for girls past the age of 26, 27 to not be married. Like it's just like it's a cultural thing. Like by the age of 24, 25, you married and you probably already got a kid. I'm the oldest.
Okay.
I'm the eldest girl. So that played a part in a lot of the decisions that I made, and feeling that I was ready at the time to get married. I thought I was ready. I thought this was my person. This person knew my family. Like, you're not about to play games. Like, you know my dad. Like, you're not about to play, right? So I went off of that, and then I incorporated like my cultural and my traditions in that decision, which is why I felt that I was ready to get married at the time.
Okay.
And that was pretty much the basis of like the decision for me.
Okay. So let me ask you this. How long were you guys married for?
We were married 5 years.
Okay. How was the marriage? Like when you first got married, like how would you describe the marriage?
I would say at the beginning it felt normal, like it felt fine, but there were things there were red flags that I did not like take serious.
Was
like,
your red flags feeling like 6 flags?
Yes. 20 flags. Okay. So it was, there were things that I ignored and I said they're going to get better, or I can change this person to be the way that I want them to be.
Yeah.
And at 24 or 25, you think that, but as time goes on and then you have a kid, you realize things aren't changing, right?
Yeah.
So then you have to like click, like, all right, what am I going to do? Because you're not changing.
Yeah.
I'm changing. And now we have another person in this situation. So, but the 5 years, the first year was cool. And then after that, things just didn't feel great.
So when you got to that place of like, you know, this is not feeling great anymore. Like this is not a great space to me. What did you do? Or like, I know what you did in the end, but like, what were some things that you may have tried before you got to that final result?
You know, I try to get like our family involved at some point. Like I try not to like tell my parents, because you know, sometimes when you get your family involved in certain things, when it gets better, they still are harboring on those issues, right?
That's
so like you can get past it, but they're not getting past it. But it got to a point where I'm like, all right, I need to talk to somebody because obviously I need some support here. But when it clicked for me that I was done, it was like a light bulb went off. It was when I was in the hospital, my son was born. It felt like I never in my life like had a aha moment until I had him.
Wow.
It was like he was born. I was like, I'm done.
Wow.
I was like, I'm done. Like this, I'm looking at this baby. I'm like, I am miserable. You're early, you're premature, and I know it's due to stress, right?
Yeah.
I know stress-induced labor. This is a product of that.
Yeah.
Do I want to subject myself to this for the rest of my life, and do I want to subject my son to this? So it was at that moment that I was like, all right, Khadija, like at this point, it's time for you to figure out a plan, and start figuring out your exit plan.
That's like so amazing that you were able to make that decision at that moment, because a lot of times people stick around, especially a woman, right? We want to make things work. Right. Because we want the family aspect of it. We want to, it's also the outside world looking at us or speaking like, hey, you make this work. You know what I mean? So for you to have that moment at that time and say, you know what, I'm done. That was like, and you were still young. How old were you when you had your son?
I was 26.
So you were still young, which is like being young and dating someone just a little older is really kind of hard to get away because you're like, well, maybe this is how it's supposed to be, or maybe this person will change, or maybe the baby will change us. That part. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you didn't do that. You were like, okay, I'm done. All right, so when you were like, I'm done, walk me through what the I'm done look like.
You fully check out. Well, I fully check out. You begin to just focus. At the time, I hyper-focus or fixated on my son, right? Yeah. Like, I was like, I got to be present for you. Like, even if I'm neglecting my well-being, my mental health, my physical health, that's okay because I need to take care of you. Yeah. So when I realized it was just me focused on my son and nothing else, that was like the first step. And then I started thinking about, all right, work. What does work look like? Like, should I figure out like maybe how to excel at my job because I need to make more money because I'm about to be a single mom, right?
So you were pre-planning.
I was pre-planning for this. I didn't take the steps, but in my mind, I was mentally like preparing myself. Yeah. I'm like, let me start applying to jobs. Let me see where there's opportunity for growth because now I need the money, right? So I did that for a few years. And
wait, a few. So you stayed in a relationship after the child. How long did you stay? Like 2 years, 3 years?
When I called it quits, my son was 3.
Okay, so 3 years. How was that 3 years from birth to your son was 3 between you and dad?
We had good times. Like it was like there was times where I was like, okay, maybe like let me put this on ice. Maybe we good. Okay, like like there was times where that happened, and then I was like, oh no, like this is temporary, right? So 3 years, I just mentally started preparing myself. But like I was going through the emotions of a divorce, of breaking up already in that time. Okay. So when a divorce came, I've already done my mourning. I already went through it.
Right.
Like I did my crying throughout those 3 years. So when it finally happened, I was like, all right, well,
I'm done.
I don't got no more tears.
So like filing for divorce. Was that hard?
Toya, you put me on.
Yes. Oh, girl, yes, I sure did. Oh, my God. Okay, we got to talk. Yes, I did. I said, okay, so it was this lawyer to my girls out there who may looking at my fellas, looking to get out of a situation, but can't get off work. So it was a lawyer out there who was doing divorces for, was he doing it for 300, 200?
It was cheap.
I think it was
like
cheap.
200 or
like
something.
200, and
he filed it for you.
You can only get divorced if you wasn't trying to split property. You wasn't making it messy. Like both parties had to agree. Yes. I forgot all about our guy, the lawyer guy.
Yeah, you put me on to him, and Toya gave me the information, and I sat with the information because then I was still hesitant. Like I didn't know if I really wanted to take the steps. I was scared. I was really scared because now I'm like, I have this kid. And then around that time, my son was diagnosed with autism. I'm scared because he has this disability, if you will, right? And I'm like, can I do this by myself? I was already doing it by myself. My sister would even joke, like, you are a married single mom. She would always say that to me.
That's powerful, though.
She was like, you are a married single mom. So, like, you taking this step is not going to mean anything different for you. It's just you are breaking away from this situation. Yeah. So I always would keep that in mind, but it was so much that happened. I was so scared about like, how can I take care of my son? This is my first child. He is autistic. I don't know anything about autism. I'm learning about it as I go. He's nonverbal. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to do all of this? Be a good mom.
You are a great mom.
Thank you. And do all of this. So that is what dragged my feet, like, with a lot of the process. But when you gave me the information, I said, oh, 215, you can't beat that.
And it was convenient, girl. You couldn't beat that. You didn't have to take off work. Listen, now let me tell y'all now, your girl's never been married, honey, okay? But for somehow I was all entangled up into something.
So you always got resources.
Girl, you know, had to put that resource out the back pocket, honey. I was never married, but your girl had the resource on how to get a divorce. And I know people always say, oh, I can't take off work. I'm not trying to use my PTO to be going downtown and you got to wait a year. No. This lawyer, he does everything for you. All you have to do is walk yourself to the mailbox.
Right. And then damn, the lawyer
How long
died.
was I know, and you told me.
Like, what's taking my document so long? I got the document in the mail, said deceased. I said, oh man.
You probably was his last round. I'm
like,
sending people his way.
I was like, I was getting frustrated until I realized, and he had this thing where if you called his office, he would charge you $20. So I wasn't calling him, and then I finally got the paper. I said, man, this man passed away, and I'm up here just being, just selfish about the whole situation.
But he should have some people in his office run that quick.
I think he did eventually once they got his caseload or whatever figured out. But
wait, give me your laugh real quick. How about that? He had a really good come up. He was charging people $20 if they called to ask questions.
Look,
I never heard nothing like that in my life. If you're calling to ask any questions, they charge you $20.
I called him to ask him I wasn't on the phone with him for 2 minutes. He billed me $25. I said, man, I won't. You don't have to worry about me calling you again.
Yes, he did.
I was like,
yes, he does. Yes, he does. Basically, we're going to give you these steps and paperwork, and if you can't read, that's on you.
Yes, he was very clear. He was like, if you don't do this step, if you miss this step, it's $25. If you call me, it's an extra $25. I'm like, all right.
Oh, my God. And they really charged you, huh?
He charged me.
Yeah, that was a piece of work.
I had a simple question about something. They sent me a bill. I said, well, look, you have to worry about me.
He did. But you know what? He convenient, though. You got to give it to him. He's convenient. Most people have to wait a year or pay a lot of money. Not with my guy. My guy got you in and out. Yes, he did.
I think I had to wait like that 6 months. I think PA has like this separation period. So once that went, like we went through that time frame, it was finalized.
All right. So now we're divorced. Now, you and I have been out. Mm-hmm. You and I have had chit-chats. Because it's so funny because when you got married, I was a single girl.
Yes.
Having fun. Yes. A lot of fun. And you were like married and mom. Mm-hmm. So we kind of like playing in the streets at different times. Now, I'm not married, but I'm not playing outside like I once was. You know what I mean? So now I get all my juice from you.
All my girlfriends are tied down. I can't even be out in the streets with nobody.
But how has life been after divorce?
It's been good. I mean, I don't know. Dating life has been slow. Like, because I just feel this also happened like right after the pandemic. So like things like we were kind of shut down for a little bit. But like, I think my dating life has been okay.
Has it been fun?
Yeah, but also I realize I might be a little bit of a toxic dater too. Because,
wait, why you say that?
I think with this divorce, I hone in on things I don't need to hone in on.
Okay,
like,
give me an
there's
example.
no reason that I'm going on a date with a guy and we go to the movie theater and he dropped a movie theater ticket on the ground and he bent down. And I said, I don't like the way he bends down, so I'm not going out with him again.
Oh, yes,
so I know. I'm working through it. Right, I'm working through it. So friend. I think I like. There's certain things that I do to kind of sabotage.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Yeah, like I sabotage, and it's nothing. The guy was a perfect gentleman, a very sweet guy.
You done messed it up for him, huh?
I mean, also I'm just not into him. Like I know that,
I had those before.
It took me some time to realize I'm not into him, but like me focusing on that was just like, okay, girl. Like,
all right. So let me ask you this, because we were talking about like just starting over. So we walked through the whole like what you've been through, and now we're getting to the part of like the starting over, which is like a breath of fresh air. What is something that you have been like most excited about since starting over?
Just more time for myself, like pouring into myself. I had a friend say, like, you can't pour from an empty cup. And I felt like that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to pour into my son with what? There's nothing in his cup, right? So I'm just excited to just love myself again. I stopped loving myself when I was in this situation. I stopped caring about myself. I stopped prioritizing myself, and then like now I felt like I'm rediscovering myself again. And that's the one thing that I've been enjoying. But I have to I can't take all that credit myself, right? It's like friends like you.
Oh, thank you.
My sister, like my really close girlfriends who really like helped me accountable. Like, Khadijah, you can't, like, you're too young. You like, come on, like you got to pull yourself out of this.
Yeah.
So it was my friends and my sister that really like pushed me, because even making a move, like Toya, you would come, like I'll be on the phone with you, like Khadijah, like what are you doing? Like just move. Just move. I was so scared. I was almost paralyzed in fear because I'm like,
and I never knew that.
I couldn't do anything. I was like scared to switch my son out of school because I'm like, I don't know what to expect if I put him in school in Philly and we make this move. Like, what if I mess everything up? Or what if I like put him in a situation that isn't good for him? But I was like, all right, you driving to work an hour, a little over an hour every day back and forth, trying to get to your son, get home, do this every day. It's too much. I felt like I was burnt out. I was burnt out. So I had to make some serious changes, not only for myself, but for my son.
Yeah. So like to anyone out there who's like afraid to start over, because I do think it's that fear of like, whether it's a bad relationship or after just anything life changing, I do think the fear is the what if. What if this doesn't work out? What if this goes this way? What if, it's always the what ifs, and the what ifs are always the bad what ifs. It's never but what if this actually works out? Or what if this is the one thing God need me to do? So to anyone out there who is having that doubt in their mind or who's afraid to start over because they're having those what if thoughts, what is something you would say to them?
Yeah, I would just say just do it. But the one thing that I push myself is I ask myself, is this change going to kill me? Like, is it actually going to kill me? And it's not. So why, like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You can go back home. You can move in with family, whatever, right? I had to tell myself, if my son is not physically going to be harmed in this decision, then just do it.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, it was very uncomfortable, like, to do everything, like, to make the decision, I'm moving out of this place. I'm selling everything in my home. I'm throwing away everything. I'm going to move in with my mom for a few months, figure it out until I find a place, and then I'm going to move into that place. And that's what I did.
And
it was scary. It worked out, but it was very scary to do that. But I know I needed to do it because life was just too hard the way I was doing it before. And I was only doing it because I was comfortable in that. It wasn't right. I was just comfortable.
Yeah.
So sometimes those changes are very uncomfortable, and you just need to do it. But if you're not going to be harmed in those decisions, just do it.
It's funny because I was having a conversation with the person. I'm not going to say who the person is. I was having a conversation yesterday. I was having a drink. They were just there. But yesterday I was having a conversation with a special person to me, and they're in a similar situation. And I said, well, what is your fear of starting over, or what is your fear? And she was just like, I don't know, but I'm just gonna rock this out. I'm gonna rock out like this. And I'm like, but for how long? How long are you gonna rock out? How long are you gonna just say this is what it is? You know what I mean? And she was like, I don't know. But I think also a part of that is fear, and it's also our pride get in the way as well. You know what I mean? We get caught up in our pride, and we be like, well, my pride not gonna let me feel like I'm taking 2 steps back. Like you were like, I'm gonna move with my mom, even though you're an educated woman, you have an amazing job. You were okay with like saying, I'm going to step back in order to move up. Right. Not everyone is okay with that, and I will hope that after watching this, people can say, wow, I see myself in her, and if she can do it, you know what I'm saying, why can't I? Why can't I say, let me go ahead and start over? You know what I'm saying? Because if this is all that's on this side, it can't be no worse on that side. Let's be honest. It can't be no worse. Because this is shit. I'm smelling shit right now. You know what I mean? So what's the worst smell than that? So whatever's on that side, I'm willing to smell it. So this is why this was important to me to have this conversation. Because I felt like I would say somewhat kind of had to start over, but never really had to start over how you had to start over with the child. Leaving, because I have heard, but divorces, people say it's like death in a family, right?
It feels like death, right? And then it's like, I graduated college, and then I started dating this guy, and then I got married. So I didn't have a life outside of graduating, like in my adulthood. My adulthood was with him.
Yeah, I remember.
And like I didn't even know what life was like. So now I'm exiting this situation. Now I got a kid, and now it's like, I've never even lived on my own. So now I live on my own with my kid. I was just like, this is so scary. But like, I don't ever question or like regret like the things that I've been through. It's just like, for me, I just take it as lessons, right? Would I have changed some things? I'll be lying if I said no.
Yeah,
I would change some things, but I was young. So sometimes you just make decisions in your youth that made sense to you then. Now,
but
as a grown woman,
you're
know
like, more now. You're more seasoned now.
Yeah. So, but honestly, it did feel like death because that was like my life. My life was a wife. My life was living with this person, and I thought I was going to have this great life with you, and then that was it. I never in my life thought I would get divorced. Like, not that getting divorced is a bad thing or being a single, it's not, right?
Yeah.
But in my mind, I always thought I was going to get married, and then that was it. Like, that's my life. And then when things don't turn out the way you thought it would, it's scary. It's very scary.
Yeah. I could definitely see it. And as we're like coming to an end on everything, I had a conversation with a group of friends of mine, and I was we were having a conversation about like, you know, me having children. And what I was saying was that, yes, I want my child. I want the marriage. I want those things that society say is correct, right? It should go the marriage, then the child, you live happily ever after. I would like to say that's the American dream, you know? Of course I want that. Of course, who wouldn't want that, right? But I'm also a person who understands life. And because of my life experiences, I understand that things don't go as planned. You know what I mean? Whereas though anything can happen, and I just got to be prepared for it. So where I'm standing at now, my person that I'm currently with, I think is an amazing person. I'm the only person I would think to go half and half with the child. I believe in giving him my heart, and I will one day want to meet him at the altar. I want us to have all those things. But I also understand that sometimes life happens, and the people you marry probably won't be the person that you one day may have to divorce. So with understanding is that when life happens, you have to be okay with starting over. You know what I mean? I think if we get so conditioned to think that, no, this is how it's supposed to be and this is it, we are not saving ourselves. You know what I mean? It's just like we are holding ourselves back because staying somewhere because you're comfortable or staying somewhere because you're like, wait, this is how it's supposed to be. This is it. This is all. Because I'm 50 years old, I'm supposed to be here. No. You have to be okay. Listen, when something get a little uncomfortable, you might got to wiggle yourself out that seat and say, let me try that seat. You know what I mean? So I think that starting over is important. I think that there's no age that we should say, oh, I'm too old to start over. And I even have to tell myself that sometimes because I be like starting over with jobs. I mean, I enjoy my job and everything. But even changing, this is going a little different way. But even sometimes with like changing positions at my job, I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not starting over on that. So I might need to be taking that my own advice in that. But I'm comfortable. But I'm comfortable. You know what? I'm comfortable in every year I become a different person in my position. I don't treat it the same. So I guess that's a little bit of starting over. But I do admire you for starting over. I do admire you because, honey, you have been living. And, honey, I've been living through this dating life, honey. I've been living through this dating life because not that I want to date anyone, but, you know, I like to hear the stories, honey.
Ain't nothing out there.
Girl, you know, you know me and my man, you know, we be different people every day of the week. I like to live through my girlfriends who are dating lives because I can kind of laugh like, oh, the dating life hasn't changed much since I was out there because I was running into some people like, this is it, God. But I think it's funny, but it's also fun for you because this is the new era of you. Yes. This is your new era, honey. If you want to get up and say, I want to go here with him, or I want to do this. This is your new era. Yeah. You know, you got it. And then you also got a new position at your job, right?
Yeah.
See, girl, all type of starting over. You see what happens when you start over?
Yeah, I'm almost 2 years in.
Yes.
And the funny thing, the day that we went to go get the divorce forms, like me and him had to go get it notarized.
Yeah.
As I pulled up to the post office where we were going to get it notarized, they called me and said I got the job.
Listen.
I said, look at God. Like,
look at God. See, you can't be afraid and starting something new.
Yeah, so at that point on, I was like, all right, Khadijah, it's gonna be okay. You won't cry a couple of times throughout this process. You're not gonna feel comfortable, but like it's gonna be okay. And I'm so happy.
I can see the glow.
I'm so happy where I am now. I can
see the glow, honey.
My son is happy. He's healthy. Like I couldn't ask for anything more in this moment.
So starting over is a good thing.
It's a good thing
because you get a chance to reinvent yourself.
Yeah,
and become the next version of yourself.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. So first of all, friend, thank you for being so open and honest. I just appreciate that. And what I'm hoping is that whoever sees this, I'm hoping that this can connect with at least one person, 2 people, or however many people, but at least connect with one person who is having those thoughts, who may have not expressed to people in their inner circle that they need to start over, but they've been going back and forth with themselves because they're like, I don't know what it might look like on that other side for me. Yeah. You know, so I appreciate you just telling your story. And you being a person that people can say, "Oh yeah, she look good." I'm gonna try to start an over thing.
Yeah, and like Toya, I know you gave me my flowers in the beginning, but let me give Toya her flowers. Right?
On a Toya moment, yes.
Toya moment. I have to give Toya her flowers because when I tell you this woman is motivational, inspirational, she is absolutely fabulous.
Thank you, friend.
But like Toya is that friend that holds you accountable. Like, even down to the business piece. Like, she's like, Khadijah, what are you doing? Even now, we walk into the bathroom. She's like, this is what you need to be doing. Right? Yes. Like, Toya, like, honestly, I am so grateful I've met you. You are like, you're a friend that can't be duplicated. Like, honestly, you cannot. And I thank you so much for inspiring me throughout the years, pushing me, motivating me. I don't even think I could have made this move in my life without Toya. You played a part in that, and I have to give you your flowers because of that. Because one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to disappoint my friends, right? I really don't, because they hold me accountable. And Toya, you were one of those friends that I did not want to disappoint. And I thank you so much for like your years of friendship.
I need some love from my friend.
So I have to give Toya her flowers. And I wish you all the success. You know that. Like I don't want anything but good things for you in life.
I love you
because you deserve it. You really do. So I have to say thank you for everything that you've done.
This is a great Toya moment. Okay, this is a great. Listen, you guys, this is an amazing Toya moment. Okay, listen, just to have to hear how you show up in the world from other people is just, it feels so good, honey. It feels so good. That's why I have my friends on my Toya Moment podcast because they the only ones that can talk about the Toya moments, okay? So me and my girl, we had some good Toya moments together, and we're going to have more Toya moments together in Khadijah moments. So I want to thank you again for coming on the show, and you better not be a stranger, honey.
I'm not.
Yeah, because we got to do some other stuff. And we got to get back up on here. I might be hooking you up with somebody. I might do a show hooking you up.
All right,
I got some single people I know now. Got to hook some things up. So, you know what, Ken? Let's get that up. We might need to do an episode where we're doing a dating episode because I got some good people. I know some good people. I should do a speed date.
We may need a bigger space.
Yeah, we need to make this happen. We got some good looking single people coming to visit us now. We got to put them together.
Dating event.
Yeah, we gonna need a bigger space.
Ken, let's do a Toya Moment speed dating. A live podcast of a Toya Moment speed dating.
Y'all heard it first.
The Speedcast Ken,
look, sis always coming up with a good name.
That's my sister in the background, y'all. That's my sister. Listen, I am a great matchmaker, okay? So I'm gonna hook up my single people, bring them together, and we're gonna make some magic happen.
All right, well let's do it right now. Let's do it now. Put the drop down. Let everybody know. Reach out to Toya Moment. If you want to be on the next Speedcast. Toya Moment.
Toya Moment. We're gonna make it happen.
It right here.
Oh, listen,
we're gonna go live. We're gonna go live with it.
Oh, Ken, that's the best way to go. Listen, y'all probably looking at my face because I'm looking at Ken. Like, we gonna really do this? We gonna really do this?
We going live. So
do it.
Y'all heard it right here on the Toya Moment. If you interested, inbox Toya.
Inbox me at I am LaBella Toya. Listen,
she gonna say inbox me, but she gonna be like, no, inbox either one of us.
Wait. Inbox K Cooper Productions. Okay.
Inbox Toya Moment.
I
one of us.
poisonous.
Yeah, any one of us, y'all just reach out to us. You want to be, you heard this podcast, inboxes, leave a message on the podcast. You can leave a message on Spotify. You can leave a message on Apple. You can leave a message on the YouTube channel. If you heard this YouTube channel, you're watching right now, drop a comment right now. Yeah, if you're interested to be on, we're going to do this real
Or if
soon.
you know someone that's interested, we should definitely listen. I'm telling y'all.
Let's go.
Listen,
Message Toya, y'all.
message
Yes, 'cause
us. We're going to make
she
this
always
happen.
trying to hook somebody up.
That
And
part.
we're out of here. Bye.